أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. اللهم صل على محمد سيد المرسلين وخاتم النبيين وحجة رب العالمين، المنتجب في الميثاق، المصطفى في الضلال، المطهر من كل آفة، البرية من كل عيب، المؤمل للنجاة، المرتجى للشفاعة، المفوض إليه دين الله. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله، وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك وأناخت برحلك. عليك مني سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار، ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم. السلام على الحسين. جميعا معا نقرأ زيارة أبا عبد الله الحسين. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى نادي الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين وعلى أخته العقيلة عقيلة الطالبيين زينب الكبرى وأخيه أبا الفضل العباس ورحمة الله وبركاته. قال سيد الشهداء أبا عبد الله الحسين عليه أفضل الصلاة والسلام: إن الناس عبيد الدنيا، إن الناس عبيد الدنيا، والدين لعق على ألسنتهم، يحوطونه ما حطت معايشهم، وإذا محصوا بالبلاء قل الديانون. For the hastening appearance of Imam صاحب العصر والزمان، أرواحنا وأرواح العالمين لتراب مقدمه الفداء، loud صلوات. For your well-being and the well-being of your family and loved ones, another louder salawat. If you bring in the revolution of Imam Al-Hussein alayhi afdalus salati was salam, and you go through the agendas of the Imam, the reason the Imam rebelled against Yazid ibn Muawiyah, and you look into the reasons of the Imam, you find it to be relevant for that time and age, and of course relevant for this time and age as well. For many reasons. The letters that he wrote for the people of Basra, to the people of Kufa, to his brother Muhammad ibn al-Hanafiyyah, the Imam alayhi afdalus salati was salam, in each of these letters he is pointing out the reasons of his revolution, why he's rebelling against Yazid ibn Muawiyah. As we mentioned last night, so no one comes and questions his rebellion. No one comes and questions Imam himself. In addition to that, what is it that it's relevant for us today is you look into his aims and his goals, you find that you can categorize it into 5 sections. Number one section of his rebellion was, of course, the what? It was his rebellion that was going into Amr bil Ma'ruf wa Nahy anil Munkar. The letter that he wrote to Muhammad ibn al-Hanafiyyah, his brother, he said to his brother that I am rising to enjoin good and forbid evil. Of course, this is reform of the community, of the society. And then after that, the second one, you find the Imam is protecting Islam itself. ألا وإن السنة قد أميتت والبدعة قد أحيت. This is the reason that you see the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has died out. and the bid'ah has taken its place. If you look at this today, in this time and age, don't you find this today in our society, in our community? Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam, the tradition of Rasulullah, the narration of Rasulullah, no one looks into that, but they say this is a tradition of my tribe, of my family. When it comes to marriage, for example, when it comes to marriage, look at it. When someone goes and they propose to the others, a male mu'min who prays, who fasts, they go there and they talk about the dowry as if the person is selling his daughter. And if you talk to them, you say the dowry of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam that he said for his daughter Fatimatu Zahra salamullahi alayha was so less than any of you. Are you better than Fatimatu Zahra? It was 500 dirham, equivalent today to $1,000 to $3,000. That's it. But when it comes to marriage, Sunnah of Rasulullah is not there for us. When it comes to our lifestyle, it's way different than what the Rasulullah has prescribed for us. We look in different direction. That's why Imam Al-Hussein alayhi afdalus salati wassalam said to Farazdaq, he said to him, إن الناس عبيد الدنيا والدين لعق على ألسنتهم يحوطونه ما درت معايشهم فإذا محصوا بالبلاء قل الديانون. Don't you see this today in this time and age? Marriage is one of them, and we will talk about, inshallah, marriage, a very special night for marriage. Because when we look at what's happening today, divorces are increasing and marriage is going way down because of the expectations from both sides. And other reasons that we'll talk about it, inshallah, another night. What's the other issue? Now when it comes to us, we say we are Husaynis, we say we are Alawis, we say we are Zainabis, we say I love Imam Al-Hussein. But if you look at our action, you say this person is way away from Imam Al-Hussein. Where is he? And we have doubters in the communities that put doubt in our minds. First they start with the marja'iyah. They put doubt in your mind and my mind, and the young ones doubt about the marja'iyah. Do we need marja'iyah? Is it important for us to follow marja'iyah? Look at what happened in Iraq a couple of years ago. If it wasn't the fatwa of the marja', if it wasn't Hashd al-Sha'bi, Iraq, it will be taken by Daesh. And some imbeciles come into this society, this community of ours, and they say, we don't need marja'iyah. Why? Because you can get the ahadith and the riwayat, read here and there, and you make your own fatwa. As one of the maraja told us when we went for a visit, he said to us, we wait for the people to give their fatwas and then we give our own fatwa. Because everyone in this time and age, they have their own opinion, mashallah. When it comes to food, when it comes to daily things, buying a house, interest, everything, everyone have their own fatwa. When you go to a plumber, and this is, look, brothers and sisters, everyone, they have their own qualifications. When you go to a plumber, the plumber knows how to fix a pipe. He knows what to do. True or not true? And you look if he's licensed or not licensed. But when it comes to religion, mashallah, everyone gives their own fatwas. And these doubters, they come and they put this doubt in the minds of the youth, in the minds of the mu'mineen. Do we need this marja'? Do we need that marja'? Do we need this person? Do we need that person? Imam al-Hujjah alayhi afdalus salati wassalam, what did he say in his letter to Shaykh al-Mufid? He said to him that find a pious scholar that you can get your fatawa, you can get your questions answered by them, because they know how to give you the answers. They know what to reply to. At every turn we come and we say, do we need them? What's our need for them? And this is amazing when it comes to our society, our community. That every day you find something comes up in the community, like cancer spreads around, and everyone, they have their own opinion when it comes to it. And we go back to the Hawza, you see, where is the Maraji' opinion? Well, he's in the background, behind the scene. We're just going to tell you what I'm thinking. What about the one who is qualified to say it? The one who studied 30, 40 years. In the time of Imam Al-Hadi alayhi afdalus salati wassalam, he set out a wakil. Imam Al-Hadi. He said, if you can't reach us, go to the wakil. We have a hadith that says even in the time of Imam al-Sadiq alayhi salatu wassalam, he used to teach his students and he used to send them to all over the cities, tell them, you go to Kufa, you go to Medina, you go to Basra, you go to Mecca, you go here, you go there, you go there. And there, people can ask questions and you can get your answers from them. There you can get the answers from them. That's one. Doubt in the maraja. Then they go in the doubt of, because it's, elevating is going into different directions. After that, they go into the doubt of the imams. Just recently, in this community of ours, someone started putting doubt in the mind of the people. Why do we read Ziyarat Ashura? Cursing the five. Why do we read Dua al-Tawassul? Asking the intercession of the imams. And you wonder, subhanallah, look at this. When he starts with the scholar, he goes to the imam. And then he goes to the dua. And then he goes to the ziyarah. And then he goes to the Quran. And then after that, he goes to the Almighty God. Amr bil ma'ruf wa nahy an munkar, where did it go? The original text of the imam, where did it go? Where? And it's not you and me that you might think we are the ones under, the microscope, or we are the ones in danger. It's the young ones. And sometimes I look at my children, I wonder what will happen in a couple of years' time? What will happen for these children? Because now everything has changed. Everything. In addition to all of that, you have a war that you and I, if we don't pay attention, we don't know about this war. And it's ongoing war. And that is cyber war. YouTube Kids, Netflix, Amazon, Prime, and it goes, HBO Max, every one of them. Do you think your child who's sitting in the majlis, and a couple of days ago I saw in one of my majalis, one of the children started to, walk around and make some noise. The father, to make him settle down, he gave him the phone. Here, take it. Go into YouTube Kids, look at the contents there. Look at what they showing to your child and my child, taking them to their path that one of them said to me, he said, look, for us to change your mind, that's going to be impossible because you come from a society, they go to majalis, they listen to the latmiyat of Imam Al-Hussein, they go to Haram, they go here, they go there. But for us to go after your child, that's more important for us. And make it just normal, that's it. Normalize it. Normalize for a person to sit down in front of them, have a long hair, beard, put some makeup, and that person, pronoun here is they. Not a he, not a she, but it's a they. In the United States, just 2 months ago, this is not, a movie that is a sci-fi movie that you might think Sayyid is coming from the Mars and he's telling us something that's happening in the stars. No. This is happening right now, in this time and age. In United States, 2-3 months ago, there was a program they showed, and they were talking about these pronouns. In a kindergarten, in some school, they had a problem with a kindergarten teacher teaching a kindergarten student, the class, different pronouns, and telling them that it's easy and it's very normal for you to ask not to be identified as a man or woman. You can wait until you make up your mind. Kindergarten, 5-year-olds. If I go today to any kindergarten, classes in Australia and adding it to a curriculum, Islamic teachings, they all come out, Sharia law, what are you doing? What's that? We don't want this. But for a woman teaching a 5-year-old, that you can wait until you grow up to make a decision to be a he or she or ze or za. This is the pronouns. They have 100 pronouns. For you to be identified as a male or female, where are we going with this? Where are we going with this? And we can't even comment on it. We can't even make a remark. We can't even make our stand there. In Canada, they came out in some university there and they said, we don't want to do this. They said, why? You have to. This is our duty. This is our right. that you call us to what we want to be called. So he stood there, this professor. He said to the person who was talking to him, he said, what are you? I'm a they. How could you be a they? He said, I'm a man and a woman, two in one. But your child, my child, you yourself are exposed to this. Don't think they're not. They are. They're exposed to it 24/7. When we come to this majalis, say it half an hour and come down. Everyone is going to get bored. And I see it sometimes. If we go more than half an hour, everyone gets their mobile phones out and looks at the, cryptocurrency market. Is Solana going up and down? Is this going up and down? Is Bitcoin good or not good? Go and check in their feeds on, Instagram, Facebook. Isn't that true? But when it comes to anything coming on Netflix, the people sit down, they binge watch a whole TV show in matter of hours. Tonight, we're going to sit down and watch 15 episodes all at once. Or when it comes to Majlis, half an hour, come down, and that's enough. Half an hour, and that's enough. And it's only these 10 nights. Only these 10 nights. That's an issue that we have our hand. When they are exposed to this in this time and age, in the 21st century, and you think this is not important, wallahi, you're delusional. If you think this is not important, that you don't have to address it, you don't have to go and tackle it. You don't tackle it there, you see your own child tomorrow, you ask him at 20 odd years, 25, 26, up to 30, you say, why are you not married? I don't want to get married. I don't want. Why? Any normal person at that age wants to get married, but you find that man at that age, or even when it comes to the female side, they also have the same opinion because they're exposed to something that is more dangerous than the first one. I don't want to name it here, but it is. Many of the youth, they're either exposed to alcohol, to drugs, or pornography. These three things. And it's easy to get access on it anywhere you want. Just have this. And this is the destroyer of the families. This one. When you give it to a person like me, I take this and I make some majalis on it. I listen to this lecturer, to that lecturer, do some trading on it, okay? Open my Instagram and watch who is reciting here and there. But give it to a 5-year-old. Give it to a 5-year-old and watch what they do with it. He knows, she knows how to use it. If I'm reciting it right, I don't know if it's a he or she. SubhanAllah, it became to a point that you are afraid to say he or she. They take the phone and they go up and down, and you just wonder, how did he know where to go? Now, and they have a preference. I don't want to watch that. I want to watch this. When I mentioned YouTube Kids, because a couple of days ago, there was a documentary made about the people that come and make programs on YouTube Kids. Because some people think because it's YouTube, it's kids, it's safe, they can do whatever they want, they can watch whatever they want, it's fine, but it's not. And same as I told you, a person, long hair and all that, showing the kids how to open up toys, unboxing a toy. And the child is just sitting down and watching it. The other day I watched, and I was waiting in a waiting room, ABC 3 Kids. They had 2 women, and the 2 women were talking to the daughter, presumably it was a daughter, and she was saying that it's very normal to have 2 mothers. So a child, a 5-year-old, a 6-year-old, a 10-year-old, when they sit down and they watch this and they go, okay, yeah, all right, yeah, well, that's normal. What happens next? What happens after that? They fall into more of problems. They fall into more of issues. That is why Abu Abdullah Al-Hussein went into reform of the society, of the community. That's the important part of it, that he said, I will give up my life, my companion's life, my family's life. وَبَذَلَ مُهْجَتَهُ فِيكَ لِيَسْتَنْقِذَ عِبَادَكَ مِنَ الْجَهَالَةِ وَحَيْرَةِ الضَّلَالَةِ. We recite this in Ziyarat al-Arba'in. Not just for that time, for all of us today, when we have a look at there and we come out and we say, what do I do? What do I do? When my children are doubting Allah, they doubting the Prophet, they doubting the Imams, now they're watching this, they're watching this, and they're exposed to all sorts of programs 24 hours, and they spend on billions of dollars to get it right in front of your child for them to have a look at it. And then some people come in the community, they say we don't need this to be discussed because we live as if we live in a whole city of Iraq, some cities in Iraq, in Karbala, Najaf, and everything is fine. In Karbala and Najaf, there is some things that close to this in there. What do you think? We don't have it in here, in a Western society? That we cannot even say anything, and if we talk, they say, this is not your country, this is not an Islamic state, this is a Western country. You can't even make a decision here or there or make any changes. The curriculum is this. And the ones who make a decision for that curriculum are those people. That the curriculum now is for your child to learn the pronouns. That's why we always say we need more schools. We need more schools. And they say, why do you need more schools? I had a chat a couple of weeks ago with one of the noble leaders of the community. I had a chat with him and he said, Sayyid, we don't need more schools. I said, why? I said, and this is what he was saying to me. And I was wondering, why is he a leader of a community center? And I said that to him. Don't think this is a ghiba. We don't need more schools. Why? You think you came here to Australia to teach our children, your children and my children, Islamic studies, theology and jurisprudence and all that? If you want that, go back to your country. I said, subhanallah, subhanallah. So we don't need? He said, no, we don't need it. And the conversation became a debate, heated debate with him. And I said, of course we need it. What do you think we don't need it for? The others, they have in schools in every suburb they have their own school. When it comes to us, we can't teach our own children the alphabets of the Islam, Alif Ba al-Islam, the important parts of the Islam, the foundations of Islam. And then tomorrow you see everyone going astray. Those people are some of those that you label them as hypocrites. And a hypocrite, a munafiq, is worse than anyone else. Why? Kafir is a kafir. Kafir is a kafir. Mu'min is a mu'min. But a munafiq, you don't know. Is he a kafir? Is he a mu'min? He might stab me any day in my back. Yani you don't know. You can't make your decision here and there. And whenever we have an issue with the community, whenever we have an issue with the youth, they come and say, it's the Marja'iyya's fault. It's the Sayyid's fault. It's the Sheikh's fault. A woman called me a couple of months ago, before my Umrah trip. She said to me, my son, who's a Sayyid, he went out with a girl. He made her pregnant. She had to go and abort. I don't know where. I don't know if it's legal in this country or not. But she had an abortion. A 15-year-old man. I call him a man because he is a man, mashallah. 15-year-old. Now, Sayyid, where are you? I said, what do you mean where I am? What do you want me to do for him? Come and rescue him. I said to her, listen, Alwiya, are you Alwiya? She said, yeah, I'm Alwiya. I said to her, listen, Imam Al-Hussein stood in front of 30,000 enemy combatants and he called out, Isma'uni. Why don't you listen? Ala tasma'un? Listen. They didn't listen. And he again said, listen. They didn't listen. Lady Zainab came to him. She said to him, brother, ya akhi, why don't they listen to you? Why? It's very strange that you, a hujjatullah, they don't listen to you. What did he say? مُلِئَتْ بُطُونُهُمْ مِنَ الْحَرَامِ. I said to her, Imam Al-Hussein, he talked to them, but they didn't listen. We're talking with your children. We are talking with your children. We're telling them, قال الباقر, قال الصادق, قال الفلان, قال الفلان. But for them, do they change? No. And why do you think this happens? This happens because of your shortcomings, not my shortcomings. They're your children. They're your offsprings. But let him be. Let him go wherever he wants. Take him for at least one ziyarah to Abu Abdullah Al-Hussein. Let him see the atabat al-aliyat. At least one ziyarah in his lifetime. Not that he's always exposed to all sort of things like this, and then when it comes to this kind of issues, they say, why? Now you can't do anything for us? What can I do for you? Everything has gone so far ahead that you can't even reach it anymore. So far ahead. That is why Imam Al-Hussein alayhi afdalus salati was salam was there to reform the society, to bring it back to the right path, to show people the right what? The right path of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, because Jahiliyyah was two. We can have a look in the books. The first Jahiliyyah, in the time of ignorance, it was the main Jahiliyyah, the one you could tell. Mushrikeen, they worshipping the idols. We know Abu Jahl, Abu Sufyan, Abu Lahab, those other mushrikeen, those other what? Yeah? The second Jahiliyyah was worse than the first Jahiliyyah. Why? The second Jahiliyyah was those people who used to pray, used to fast. In Karbala, they prayed, they fasted. When they killed Imam Al-Hussein, they raised his head on the spear. They even chanted what? Allahu Akbar. You find this Islam and you find this Islam. In Karbala, on the day of Ashura, both of them, both armies prayed Salat al-Dhuhr and Asr. Both armies prayed. And both armies, they said, we are Muslims. But which one is the true Islam? Which one is not the true Islam? And you find this. And they knew. He said, I know that I'm killing the grandson of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And he said to them, don't you know who I am? I'm the grandson of the Prophet. Don't you know that I'm the only family member of the Prophet? Why are you here to fight me? Did I kill anyone from you? Did I do any crime? Did I oppress you? They said, no. Then why did you fight? Why are you here bringing 30,000 soldiers, enemy combatants? Imam al-Sadiq alayhi salatu was salam says they were surrounding my grandfather Imam al-Hussein, Sayyid al-Shuhada, like a ring around the finger. I saw a hadith that they even had 20,000 additional soldiers outside of Karbala. Just in case. Abu Fadl Abbas and Ahliyats, all of them. They said, we just have them there. 30,000 is not enough. We have 20,000 outside. If anything happens, tell them to come to fight these people. Who are these people? The family of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Why are you here fighting me? Well, we fight you because of our hatred toward your father Ali. بما فعل بأشياقنا ببدر وحنين. Of your father Ali, to what he did to us, to our ancestors, to our grandfathers. But we couldn't take our revenge on him. We are taking our revenge on you. We're here to annihilate you. So going back, those are some of the problems. Inshallah, in the subsequent nights, I'll go into other issues that we have in the community that inshallah we try to fix them up as much as we can. This is a chance that we go back to the source, and that is about Abdullah al-Hussein, Ahlul Bayt alayhim afdalus salati was salam, and we think for a minute that I am also responsible to fix up this community of mine. Because this is your community as well as it is every one of us community. And we go back to the source and we see, how can I fix it? How can I fix it? And Imam al-Hussein is a great example. Imam al-Hussein alayhi afdalus salati was salam, he stood there. تعجبت الملائكة من صبره. Even the malaika, they were wondering, they were shocked of his what? His patience. How could he be so patient? He lost his sons, he lost his companions, he lost his loved ones. How could he be so patient like this? How could he be standing up like that, fighting them? And he was there alone. And he called out, ألا من ناصر ينصرنا ألا من معين يعيننا. Is there anyone going to come and help us, assist us? But there was no one there. There's a hadith that says he said these more than once. more than once. He looked in the direction of the north, he said it, direction of the east, direction of the west, direction, and he called out, come to our help. No one came. And then he called out, Ya Habib, where are you to come to help me? Are you there? And then he called out the other companions, Muslim, Hur, all of those, and he said, I know that you cannot come to help me because you are all laying down dead on the grounds of Karbala. But I ask you a question. I ask you this. Rayyan ibn Shabib, when he came to Imam al-Rida, Ali ibn Musa al-Rida, alayhi afdal salati was salam, on the first day of Muharram, Imam al-Rida said to him, cry for Hussein ibn Ali. Whatever makes you sad, cry for Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. Yes? And then Imam al-Rida said to Rayyan ibn Shabib, the 18 members of his family were also massacred on the day of Ashura. 18 members of his family. I add something to what Imam al-Rida said to Rayyan. You killed his family. You killed him. You even killed his infant child. What was the whole deal of burning the tents? And then what was after that? Running after the children of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein and throwing them down on the ground. One of them comes after they burned the tents, where the children of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein were running right and left. Sayyidah Zainab salamullahi alayha, she comes to this child, she holds on to this child. She goes to the left, she holds on to the child on the left. And then she became what? Tahayyarat Zainab. She didn't know what to do, where to go. Go in that direction or that direction. And the children of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein are all screaming loud, Wa Muhammadah, Wa Hasanah, Wa Aliyah. This man, he narrates himself. He said, I saw a girl running. I saw a girl running. A young girl, a child of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein running. And her clothes were set on fire. Who's narrating this? The narrator of the events of Ashura, Hamid ibn Muslim. He said, I saw this girl running, and her clothes set on fire. I was riding my horse. I went after her. When she saw me, she was afraid of me. She thought that I'm there also to loot her, to take her over and take whatever she's having from earrings. So she started running, and I'm chasing her. She ran and ran until she fell unconscious on her face. I came down from my horse. I went to her, and I turned off the fire that was set on her clothes. And then when she came about, she looked at me and she saw some mercy. They were looking for some mercy. She looked at me and she said, Ya Shaykh, ana atshana. I'm thirsty. I said to her, come with me. I'll take you to the Euphrates. You killed him. You killed his family. You killed his companions. What about the children? What did they do? Innocent children. A 3-year-old. He said, I took her to the Euphrates. I gave her a cup of water. And I said to her, drink. Ishrabi. She hesitated. She started looking at the water. And then she started looking at the battlefield. A 3-year-old. But don't think this is a 3-year-old, my child or your child. This is a 3-year-old who is a granddaughter of Imam al-Hussein. She's related to Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. She looks at the water and she looks at the battlefield. And then she looks at the water and I said to her, didn't you say that you are thirsty? Drink from it. She said, can you direct me to the direction of my father? He said, who's your father? She said, my father is Hussein. Why you want to go to your father? He said, she replied, I want to take the water to him because I heard him screaming loud, crying out loud, بحق جدي رسول الله أنا عطشان. Give me some water. I said to her, your father is not here. Your father is all the way there. You can't take the water to him. She took the water in her hand and she said, I'm not going to drink the water until I die thirsty for my father. How could I drink when my father died thirsty? أنا أشرب لذيذ الماء حاشة وأهلي قضوا كلهم عطاشة. I can't drink any of this water. I can't drink any of this water when my father died thirsty and his family died thirsty and his companions died thirsty. In the name of this 3-year-old, we have to look at the direction that is right, at the source that can guide us to the right path, and that's the path of Abdullah Al-Hussein. And we're here. You come in here, this is a tawfiq from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that He brought you to this majalis of Abdullah Al-Hussein. Seize the moment. Seize the moment and take as much as you can. As much as you can, take from these lessons and teach it to the others and guide them like Abdullah Al-Hussein did with his family. Assalamu alayka ya Aba Abdullah wa ala al-arwah allati hallat bifinaik alayka minni salamullahi abadan ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين وعلى أخته العقيلة عقيلة الطالبيين زينب الكبرى وأخيه أبا الفضل العباس ورحمة الله وبركاته. اللهم عجل لوليك الفرج، اللهم عجل فرجه، سهل مخرجه، اجعلنا من أنصاره وأعوانه يا رب العالمين. يا إله الخلق أجمعين، يا مفيد يا غفور يا ودود، اغننا بحلالك عن حرامك وبطاعتك عن معصيتك وبفضلك عمن سواك برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. الفاتحة قبلها الصلاة على محمد وآل محمد.
نوروا قلوبكم بالصلاة على محمد وآل محمد. ثانية غفر الله لكم.